Good morning. Coming up here on GMA, Hunter Biden's plea deal on hold. What we learned overnight. Our team is going to break it all down. And we're hearing exclusively from one of Bronny James's closest friends, Shaq's son, what he told Bronny in the hospital and the latest on the young basketball star's condition. Plus, an exclusive with the surgeons who separated conjoined twins in a historic procedure over 4 months. You're going to see those stories and so much more right here on GMA.
It's the final week for the Right Start program, where you can donate school supplies for kids. The teachers of Somerset and Judson ISD will be getting the supplies this year. United Way is looking for volunteers to help with donations on August 4th. If you still don't have stuff to donate yourself, you can visit any Cavender auto dealership in San Antonio or visit United Way directly at 700 South Alamo Street. You can also buy a school supply bag by texting Right Start to 41444. Still ahead in the next hour of Good Morning San Antonio, special spotlight on a San Antonio mom who's sharing her experience with her son after his journey of being born with a cleft lip and palate. And up next, emergency care after a crisis. After a dozen migrants were found in a trailer of I-35 last week, we're learning what happens after first responders arrive. And TransGuide right now looking live at 410 in Ingram, and traffic coming right at that camera. You're watching GMSA. Right now, GMSA, San Antonio police are investigating a terrible situation. A 4-year-old drowned in an above-ground pool. What they're saying about the tragedy this morning.
And a man's in the hospital with serious injuries after being hit by a car on the south side. What we have been able to learn from that scene coming up in just moments.
Outside with live cam, clouds have formed in the last hour or so out near San Antonio International Airport. Mike's forecast still to come.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
And a good morning to you. It is 6 a.m. on your Thursday, July 27th.
Thank you for joining us. We hope you're having a good morning so far. I like that it's still just 78 degrees for now.
Perfect time to get out. The problem is a lot of stuff isn't open yet.
Yeah.
But Mike Osterhage is here. Good morning to you.
Good morning. We were talking about this yesterday and thinking about it. School starts in
matter of weeks.
Yeah.
We've been thinking about the Pigskin Classic, but yeah, school starts in a matter of weeks for a lot of folks, and it's going to be blisteringly hot, and all the outdoor activities start to get fired up there with all the football and band and everything else. So lots of hydration is the best bet. We've got, like you said, some clouds. 82 is what it feels like right now. 83 over there at Canyon Lake, and just a mid-70s elsewhere for the most part as far as the heat index this morning. Of course, we've got the higher humidity right now, and that'll drop down later on. The mold dropped down yesterday compared to the previous day, and throughout the rest of today, we have 92 for noontime temperature, 100 high. We don't have any advisories, anything like that. And one of the reasons for that is the fact that the heat index is going to be almost non-existent. It's going to feel like the actual temperature out there right around 100, since the humidity does drop down in the afternoon. So that's the one saving grace that we have. Talk about the summer doldrums. That's pretty much what we are stuck in. Is there anything as far as any little bit of a change or a shower here or there? We'll take a look ahead in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, Stephen, been pretty quiet on the roads today.
Not been bad, Mike, as we are inching closer to the weekend. We know a lot more people are inching out the doorway, getting their commute rolling this morning. Check out 410 at McCullough. We have traffic coming at your screen in both the east and leaving on the west. So yes, things are moving along just fine, but we still have some of those closures in place that I've been talking about all week long. Of course, I-10 heading westbound, exit 561 still closed following that water main break. You see that red icon on our map, and the closure also still in place along 35 southbound at Brooklyn. So just plan your commute ahead of time. There isn't any reason to rush out the door if you're heading in from any of these communities. The journey from Boerne along I-10 eastbound should be about 24 minutes at this hour. 281 southbound, no need to hurry. If you're traveling in from Bulverde, we have a 25-minute commute. And right now, not too awful from New Braunfels either. 35 southbound, we have a 27-minute commute for those drivers. But let's get it back here at 410 in McCullough. Things are open there. All lanes seem to be moving along just fine. But more closures are on the way. I'll tell you what to expect coming up in the next few minutes. Mark.
Thank you, sir. Two people with one truck have gained access to quite a bit of cash, according to San Antonio police.
We're still looking for those people who broke into an ATM early this morning. Katrina
Weber is live where it happened at West Avenue and Bassey Road. Do police have a description of them, Katrina?
They really haven't shared much with us at all. They said that they were at least two men who broke into this ATM a little bit before 4:30 this morning. Look at what they've done. According to police, they ripped that front of it right off and they got inside the machine and were able to get some cash. Now, chances are there could be some surveillance video because we see quite a few cameras around here, so that could paint some clues. But let me show you the video. Police did find the truck which they believe was involved. It was abandoned in a front yard about a block away from here with the chain still attached. Now, they believe that this was the same mode that they've seen in the past where someone attaches a chain to a truck and then wraps the chain around part of the ATM and is able to rip it open using that truck. The people did abandon the truck in the neighborhood and somehow were able to get away from police. They had their helicopter up. They searched the area on foot, but they did not find anyone as far as we know. And still a big question mark is how much cash they got out of this machine. That is what police are still trying to sort out at this time. But again, we saw a similar case just last week on the west side of town where they also gained access to the cash inside that machine. No word yet on if these two cases are connected. Reporting live on the north side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Now to the latest on a very tragic situation this morning. A family devastated after a 4-year-old girl drowned in an above-ground pool during a gathering at a southwest side home. San Antonio police say officers were initially called for a missing child around 8 last night in the 9100 block of Ocean Gate. The girl got away while the family of 15 was gathered outside. After about half an hour of searching, they called authorities for help. Police arrived, and a short time later, officers found the little girl face down in an above-ground pool in the backyard. The child was taken out of the pool, and police began CPR. She coughed up water on an officer and was taken by EMS to a hospital where she died. The family told officers the ladder to the pool was removed, and it is unknown how the little girl got into the pool.
A man is in the hospital this morning after he was hit by a car on the southwest side. Police say that they received a call around 11:30 last night on Commercial Avenue about someone running in the street. Shortly after, they received another call about a driver hitting a man. He was taken to University Hospital in critical condition. That driver will not face charges.
Most of us have seen the dangers surrounding fentanyl, a synthetic opioid that's linked to the deaths of thousands of Texans.
It's why KSAT aired a special and held a town hall last night focusing on how to help families stay safe. Our Sarah Costa joins us live in the studio with a recap of that special. Good morning, Sarah.
Morning, Sarah.
Hey, good morning, guys. Yeah, the focus was on families, of course, as we aired that special on fentanyl last night across all of our digital platforms. 2,000 people in Texas died last year to fentanyl poisonings. The special went over the fentanyl problem and how it's affecting the state of Texas, law enforcement, and our communities. It gave viewers a look at the fentanyl problem at the border and from a law enforcement perspective. After the special aired, we had a town hall where we spoke with a local psychiatrist and asked to give parents advice.
Start by asking what they know about fentanyl and what they know about drug use. Have they run into a situation that they were presented with? And make them understand that this is not a lecture. This is meant as a family trying to preserve a family.
Our special is called Fighting Fentanyl. It's everyone's problem. Take out your phone. You can watch that and the town hall discussion we had afterwards by just scanning this QR code that is on your screen right now. Now, viewers also heard from a woman who survived multiple overdoses and a mother who lost her son to fentanyl poisoning. The goal, of course, is to help you start that conversation with your kids about this deadly drug. For more information, just head to ksat.com. Mark, Steph.
Thank you, Sarah. Just 1 week ago, 12 migrants were found inside a big rig at I-35 near the Fisher Road ramp.
And all 12 people were said to be healthy after they were checked out by EMS.
This morning, we are taking a closer look at how first responders react to migrant crisis situations after the initial call. KSAT's Avery Everett has the story.
An emergency can happen in an instant.
Every minute counts.
And Dr. Brian Everett says this temp bag adds time to the clock.
A vinyl bag that we can put ice cold water around the patient and start to cool them.
Heat-related illnesses are on the rise this summer, and Everett says this treatment is being used to help people in the community.
We are very aggressive about putting these patients in these bags, both pre-hospital and in the hospital.
Everett says this could be the key to saving lives, especially when people are under inhumane conditions.
And if these patients are not found and cooled quickly, they will die.
Just 1 week ago, 12 migrants were found cramped inside a trailer on I-35 near Fisher Road. EMS crews examined them and said they were okay. A relief, because after learning about the migrants' conditions inside the trailer, people were worried.
The levels at which that we're seeing it are unprecedented.
Bexar County Sheriff Javier Salazar says when his deputies respond to these incidents, they're prepared, with one goal in mind.
During the course of that interview, we try to find out, where did you come from? What have you been through? Are you the victim of any crimes?
But no matter where they came from, San Antonio often helps. And Councilwoman Adriana Rocha Garcia says this is becoming familiar in District 4.
That if that first exit to San Antonio is off of 35, it's going to continue happening.
It's a humanitarian crisis at that moment.
Everett says this isn't a solution, but it can be a lifesaver.
We'll put about 2 inches or 3 inches of water on the patient.
As these emergencies will likely keep happening.
So we are ready to do this.
Dr. Everett says these temp bags have been being used inside ambulances for about the past month, but they've been used inside of hospitals over the past couple of years. But if you see someone experiencing a heat-related illness and you don't have quick access to one of these, doctors say the best thing that you can do is get them under cold running water. Avery Everett, KSAT 12 News.
10 minutes past the hour, 78 degrees.
Still ahead before 6:30, makeup artists and other volunteers are doing their part to help first responders get ready for real-life situations. How they're pitching in for the extra training.
And new research revealing unsettling news about pregnant women and exposure to harmful chemicals. After the break, what those chemicals are and where they're most likely found.
Looking out there with live cam, it's okay right now, but we are expecting another hot day. Expect to feel that heat even walking across the parking lot. We'll be right back.
Good morning, welcome back. 6:14. Bullet wounds, bruises, and severe injuries, all created with tissue, paint, and some makeup.
It's part of a basic moulage training class offered for free to volunteers who want to help first responders prepare. So the class you see here was offered by Southwest Texas Regional Advisory Council yesterday. Professional makeup artists volunteered to train students on how to create wounds, and it's part of the mass casualty training class offered to first responders. The so-called Wounds on Volunteers can help emergency responders get a small dose of things they will see on real-life calls.
It gives the responders the opportunity to practice their skills so that when they have to come to you, if you have that crisis, or if the community has a crisis, the responders are better equipped to provide care, both the responders and the hospitals, to provide that care for the patients during their time of need.
So being able to see something a little bit more visceral than, say, on a mannequin is a lot more realistic for their training. So to be able to do that is one of the things that I love about doing this class.
Southwest Texas Regional Advisory Council, or STRAC, is always looking for volunteers who want to learn how to do the lifelike makeup, or people who want to be a part of the mass casualty training. You can read more about how to get involved on ksat.com.
Meanwhile, new research is showing that pregnant women are more exposed to chemicals known to increase the risk of cancer. In a study published on Chemosphere, researchers found that these toxic chemicals can be found in daily essentials like dishware, plastics, and even hair color products. In samples taken for women, the highest levels of these chemicals were found in women of color and those exposed to tobacco more often.
All right, let's check on traffic at 6:16.
How are things looking?
Well, take a close look at your screen. You may miss this, but we see some of those flashing lights out there at 410 at Broadway as we get a wider look. This is usually one of the busier spots here on our TransGuide cameras, and anytime we see those flashing lights, we want you to be aware of what's taking place out there. So traffic's moving along the eastbound lanes, and we're starting to see a lot of that pick up. But out in the distance, there's a stalled vehicle, and that's likely a TxDOT Hero truck working to help that driver out. As we get you to our map, the good news here is we're not seeing any delays if you're heading westbound along Loop 410. But just watch out around Broadway Street. Those TxDOT Hero trucks are out there, again, helping that driver. They may be working the street or walking along the street. Make sure to move over or slow down. Now, an overall view of the map doesn't really show a lot else going on. Of course, we still have those closures that have been in place for several days now, but we also have more closures to look ahead to later today. Here along State Highway 151 on the west side of San Antonio, we have road work. This picks up again around 9 in the morning and should wrap around 3. Let's keep our fingers crossed. During that time, drivers can expect to see single lane closures on the eastbound frontage road. That's from Ingram Road to Cable Ranch Road. I know that's a lot of words that you have to read this early in the morning, but tell you what, if you scan this QR code, it takes you directly to our KSAT traffic page. There is a full list of all the closures that are happening in our area, and there's a lot to expect as we get closer to the month of August. And more of those projects that we see like that along Loop 1604 are going to ramp up even more so next month. Yeah,
absolutely. And every time you drive across 1604, you see new signs of that expansion project from pretty much 151 all the way over to I-35.
Yeah, got to watch out there. It's not fun getting stuck in traffic.
What's always amazing is when you don't go there very often, and it's like once, and then a month later you're going.
Exactly.
Where did that come from?
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's me along 281.
Yeah.
Well, and same thing with the 35.
35. Yeah.
And all that. You drive out there, and it's like, holy smoke.
Yeah, where did this come from?
Where are we looking? That way? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Beautiful view. Boy, I tell you, Oscar takes some great pictures of the moon. It is now in the waxing gibbous stage, and that means it's going to be full in just a few days. As a matter of fact, on Tuesday, it is going to be the full moon, and boy, that's awfully pretty. Thank you very much for the KSAT Connect picture. All right, let's look at the Climate Prediction Center 6 to 10 day and 8 to 14 day outlook. And you may have guessed what this is showing. Well, about a normal shot at, or even 50-50 shot at normal precipitation, which is not leaning in the positive direction. Temperatures will be leaning more toward the hot side once again, and then going on down the road into the second week of August. Pretty much same situation, that it's going to be on the hot and dry side with better than 50-50 chance of seeing above normal temperatures. There's some of those clouds. We're starting to see a little bit of the light behind the clouds as the sun is thinking about coming up. It's going to be popping up here in just about half an hour or so. But yeah, some of those morning clouds, and then they'll give way to plenty of sunshine throughout the day. We'll make it up through the 80s this morning, 92 at noon, and once again, 100 high temperature later on today. At least the humidity will be dropping down this afternoon. The clouds aren't showing up yet on the satellite picture, and then zoom out just a little bit, and once again you can just see this giant clockwise rotation. That's the high sitting on top of us, and it is now once again acting like a dome. In the past couple of weeks it was just in the right position where we were getting, well, even on last Sunday, it was in the perfect position to get that little bit of a disturbance move on down here and give us some of that rain. But now it's just plunked down on top of us. The atmosphere is very, very dry. And yeah, there's scattered rain around a lot of the rest of the country, just not on top of us. Again, that thing is just smack dab on top, and it's not going anywhere anytime soon. Even the easterly wave that we've been watching, which is going to try to materialize and come on in here, it's not going to do anything for us. So other than if there's a stray little sea breeze shower down there along the coast, we are going to be staying hot and dry. Been saying the doldrums of summer right now. Sahara dust will stick around for the next couple of days through early Saturday morning, and then we stay triple-digit range, and low temperatures stay in the upper 70s. Comparing to last year, yes, we're not anywhere near where we were, about 15 days behind because we had a sooner start on the triple digits. However, last year they ended really second week of August.
Okay.
I think there was one or two after that. So will we continue even through the month? Because going into the second week, it's not looking promising as far as, getting anything on the cool side around here.
Well, maybe after that, hopefully. Just wishful thinking, I think.
Yes.
Thank you, Mike.
Right now we're at 621, 78 degrees.
Just ahead, wild video of encounters between tourists and sea lions on the West Coast. Why animal experts believe the sea lions are charging beachgoers. That's in your GMA First Look.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I feel free to bare my skin, thanks to Skyrizi. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. In another study, most people had 90% clearer skin even at 5 years. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, had a vaccine, or plan to.
Thanks to clearer skin with Skyrizi, this is my moment. There's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Now's the time. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Learn how AbbVie could help you save.
In this morning's GMA First Look, sea lions charging sightseers. That after a string of close encounters with wildlife this summer. This moment in La Jolla Cove in San Diego, the latest example of tourists behaving badly, often for the sake of a selfie.
Please give that large male sea lion plenty of room. They have bitten people, and they are protected animals.
Suddenly, another sea lion dashes out of the water and darts towards the crowd, prompting everyone to run. Male sea lions can reach up to 7 feet in length and weigh up to 750 pounds. And they're capable of reaching 25 miles per hour on land. And coming up at 7 a.m., what wildlife officials are saying about these encounters. With your GMA First Look, I'm Matt Gutman, ABC News, Los Angeles.
And if you're watching this at home, yeah, folks, you're too close.
Yeah.
Can't be that close to wildlife. All right, in morning consumer news, more electric vehicle charging stations are coming to the U.S. Major automakers have agreed to create a nationwide network of stations meant to rival Tesla. The network is expected to include up to 30,000 high-power plugs and be in place by 2030.
Samsung is out with 2 foldable phones as part of its plan to conquer the bendable screen market. The Galaxy Z Flip 5 comes with a gapless hinge, and the Z Fold 5 is a larger device that opens and folds like a book. Both can be pre-ordered starting on Wednesday.
Right now, 626, 78 degrees.
And still ahead at 6:30, San Antonio police are investigating another burglary of an ATM. Katrina Weber is live where it all happened, and we're going to hear from her with the very latest.
And we're gathering new details on an early morning shooting, this time on the west side. What police are saying right now about the search for suspects.
Looking out there with Tram skies. Traffic is building up a little bit there at Loop 410 at Broadway. It looks like regular stuff right now, but we are going to check for the very latest with our Stephen Cavazos after the break.
The search is on for at least 2 people who police say caused all this damage and got away with quite a bit of the cash. Good morning, I'm Katrina Weber. I'll tell you more about one big clue that police have found in this case.
San Antonio police are also investigating a terrible situation where a 4-year-old drowned in an above-ground pool. What they're saying about the tragedy this morning.
And outside with live cam at 6:30. Yeah, just a hint of a sunrise there, and some dust is helping out, adding a little orange hue off in the distance. We'll talk to Mike in a moment.
Good morning. It is 6:30 on Thursday. Sorry, it's still early. July 27th. It does look beautiful.
I was going to nod either way.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us this morning. Mike Ostage is getting us updated on what to expect for our Thursday.
Pretty much a repeat of what we had yesterday, including the fact that we've got some of these clouds that are hanging around here as well. The sun is officially going to peek over the horizon in about 20 minutes or so. And yeah, the clouds will stick around for a couple of hours, and then we'll see just a lot more sunshine. And at least that number, that dew point, which is up in the low 70s. So you notice the humidity when you step outside. That will drop down later on this afternoon. Temperature right now stands at 79 degrees. Normal low is 75. So we're still, on average, 4 or 5 degrees above that, and then factor in the humidity, and you've got heat index readings, 82 at the airport, 83 Canyon Lake, and 80 there at Pleasanton as well as Castroville. Mold on the low side, of course, after that big jump early on in the week following the rain that we had on Sunday. It continues to go down as the drier air continues to just, I guess you'd say, take over as far as getting rid of the mold. Warm and humid this morning. Then later on today, 100, mostly sunny skies. And then tomorrow and through the weekend and the rest of July, low hundreds and sunshine. And that's just going to continue on into the first couple of days in the month of August. Still triple-digit temperatures. And notice one thing that's not on that graphic, any mention of any rain at all. Details in the weekend coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority been pretty quiet on the roads this morning.
Yeah, not too bad. We did have a stalled vehicle here, Mike, at 410 at Broadway. Better news to report here, folks. It looks like it's cleared out and traffic's back to normal, but getting busier there in both the east and westbound lanes as folks are making their way out the door and getting the day rolling here. Again, not seeing any problems, but we really had it spotted there along 410 westbound Broadway. Didn't see any buildup, but that's expected to change now that more folks are awake and, again, getting that day started. Our map isn't spotting any congestion just yet, and I've been talking to our friends at TransGuide. I've not spotted any other issues either, but we'll continue to talk to them, and if something does pop up, we'll be sure to let you know. But as of right now, 410 at Broadway, the commute looks to be moving a lot better in both the east and westbound lanes. I'll have an update for you coming up a little bit later on, including more closures. I'll tell you where coming up a little later on. Mark.
There was no card needed. San Antonio police say someone used a pickup to get cash from an ATM.
It happened near West Avenue and Bassey Road, and Katrina Weber is there with a live report.
Katrina, you mentioned earlier that this is the second time within about a week that this has happened.
Well, that's right. Just last Tuesday, police saw a similar break-in out on Marbach Road. We don't know yet whether these two cases might be connected, but what is not connected, the front of this machine from the rest of it, they were able to rip the front right off and then get inside to the cash. The police say that those criminals also left behind a big piece of evidence. The truck that was used in this burglary was abandoned on someone's front yard about a block away from here. It still had a chain attached to it. In these cases, the criminals usually will attach one end of a chain to the truck and the other to the ATM and then start pulling. And while they often are not able to get all the way inside the machine to the cash, they did do that this morning. They did, according to police, take some of the money from this machine. It seems they may have been interrupted by a passerby, though, who saw them and called police before 4:30 this morning. The officers did not share much of a description at all on those burglars. They told us that they believed there were at least 2 people involved, and they did search this area but came up empty-handed. Reporting live on the north side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
A very tragic situation this morning. A family devastated after a 4-year-old girl drowned in an above-ground pool during a gathering at a Southwest Side home.
Our Sarah Costa joins us live in the studio. And Sarah, we understand you have new information this morning on the identity of the child.
That's right. Good morning, Mark and Steph. We did just get off the phone with the Bexar County Medical Examiner's office. They released the name to us, saying that child's name is Josaida Hernandez Cervera. So officers were initially called for a missing child around 8 o'clock last night in the 9100 block of Ocean Gate. This happening in a neighborhood called Sky Harbor. That's in the city's far southwest side near Traders Village. Police say Josaida got away while her family of 15 were gathered outside. After 30 minutes of searching, they called authorities for help. Police arrived, and a short time later, officers found the little girl face down in an above-ground pool in the backyard of the home. The 4-year-old was taken out of the pool, and police began life-saving measures. She coughed up water on an officer and was taken by EMS to a hospital where she later died. Now, the family told officers the ladder of the pool was removed, so it's not known how Josaida got inside. This is a developing story. Stay with us on air and online for the latest. Mark, Steph.
Thank you, Sarah. Also new this morning, a man was taken to a hospital after someone shot him on the city's west side. San Antonio police say it happened just before 3 a.m. at a park near West Commerce Street. The man was approached by a suspect who fired gunshots at him and was grazed on his leg. He ran to nearby apartments and called for help. Right now, police don't know what led up to the shooting.
A man is in the hospital after being stabbed on his shoulder and underarm after saying no to a suspect who offered him drugs. San Antonio police say the man was near Marbach Road and Loop 410 around 10 last night when he was approached by a suspect asking if he wanted drugs. The man said no, and we are told that the suspect did not leave him alone. When the man told him to leave, that's when police say he began attacking him with a knife. The suspect took off and the victim was taken to the hospital. He is expected to be okay.
New details this morning on a deadly shooting last night. A man is dead after San Antonio police say he was shot and killed by a man he stabbed moments earlier. It happened on an apartment complex on Penn Road just off Highway 90 just before 8 o'clock last night on the far west side. Police say a 67-year-old man knocked on his 24-year-old neighbor's door, stabbed him, and then was shot dead seconds later. Officers say this is not the first time they've been called for an incident between these two. Investigators at the scene say they don't believe the man that was stabbed will be charged. Detectives are interviewing him at a hospital to find out what led to that confrontation.
Happening today, a job fair for military veterans looking for an opportunity to transition to the private sector. DAV and Recruit Military are hosting the San Antonio Veterans Job Fair at San Antonio Shrine Auditorium. This all starts today in the morning at 11 a.m. and goes till 3 in the afternoon. Registration is free and available online. The job fair is open to all transitioning military veterans, military spouses, and dependents.
637, 78 degrees.
Just ahead, we are shining a special spotlight on a San Antonio mother who's sharing her experience with her son and his journey after being born with a cleft lip and palate.
641, welcome back. July is National Cleft and Craniofacial Awareness Month.
And this morning, a local San Antonio mother is sharing her experience with her son being born with a cleft lip and palate. Take a listen.
Hearing anything is wrong with your child can be devastating.
Gloria Madera found out during her 20-week anatomy scan that her son Archie would be born with a cleft lip and palate on the left side of his mouth. This means he had a hole in between his lips and on the roof of his mouth.
Now, cleft is one of the most common birth defects. About 1 in 700 children are born with either a cleft lip or cleft palate. Some are born with both. Madera believes raising awareness for how often this happens is very important.
The world can be kind of a mean place sometimes, especially with kids. Exposing your own children to differences of people can really help open their eyes.
Now, so far, Archie's journey has consisted of 3 surgeries. At just 6 months old, he had his cleft lip repaired, and then at 10 months, the palate was repaired.
Archie also had tooth put in, as cleft-affected children tend to have speech impediment and hearing challenges. Archie will need to have more surgeries in the future, but the amount of surgeries needed is unknown for now.
And you can read more about Archie and Gloria's journey by heading to our website at ksat.com.
And time now 6:42. Let's check back with our Stephen Cavazos.
Oh, cute kid, Archie. Well, you know what? Traffic's been looking great this morning. We had a few issues like stalled vehicles and overnight construction, but a lot of that has wrapped up, and you can see that right now things are moving along great at 10 at Hackberry as folks are waking up, grabbing that cup of iced coffee, as Steph usually suggests, and getting their commute rolling. But be on the lookout. We still have that closure there at I-10 westbound. This is a shot at exit 561 due to that water main break, and of course there, 35 southbound at Brooklyn. Be on the lookout for those barriers. And again, I forgot to clear this from our map. No big deal there, but we did have a stall in the westbound lanes at Broadway. That is cleared out, and what you're taking a look at are a lot of clear roadways. But of course, those construction spots could cause some delays for you. Be on the lookout. I mentioned this a few minutes ago, but 151, we're going to see the road work pick up at 9 this morning, wraps at 3 in the afternoon. We have one more day of this, so it should fully wrap today, but single lane closures on the eastbound frontage road from Ingram Road to Cable Ranch Road. But like I said, head over to ksat.com/traffic for a full list of all the closures. But yeah, the only closures that I'm really catching from these TransGuide cameras are 35 southbound at Brooklyn, and then the one at 561 heading westbound along I-10. So those have been in place for quite a while, and as soon as they reopen, we will let you know.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Pretty picture.
Yes, all the folks that send in pictures are great photographers. Mr. McClellan takes a lot over there at Woodland Lake, and so I guess since he hangs out there quite a bit, he's on first name basis with some of the the animals like Missy, the swan, in a paparazzi mood. It's a great shot, though. All those pictures out there. It's a beautiful swan, too. Thank you very much for that picture. And there was a little bit of that Saharan dust in the background. All right, the month of July obviously has been definitely on the warm side. As a matter of fact, every day except one, the average temperature, low and high, has been above normal. And then on top of that, we've had 19 triple-digit days, the hottest day being 106 back there on the 15th. Yeah, that was a pretty tough stretch going in from the, well, about the 10th through the 15th, 16th, 17th in there. So at least it's not that hot around here, but we are still going to stay with triple-digit temperatures and continue to chalk them up. So we've got some clouds hanging around right now. Sun's about to peek over the horizon. Maybe there's a little bit of that A little bit of that reddish shade from some of that Saharan dust out there. Temperatures will warm up in through the 80s this morning. We'll have some of the leftover clouds, of course. 92 at noon, and then top off 100. Again, keep saying the one saving grace is the fact that, yes, the humidity does drop down in the afternoon, so at least your body can cool itself a little bit more efficiently when you get these dew points that drop down. So we'd love to see it below 60. You know, you get up in the 60s, start to feel it, and low 70s, but then in some areas, like around Canyon Lake, even New Braunfels this morning, dew points have been around 74, 75. That's when, yeah, it feels like a kind of a rainforest out there, but the humidity, dew point temperatures will be dropping down. So again, you can, it's a little more tolerable, if you will, in the shade. The high, which has been sitting in place forever, it seems like, just is not going to move. We had been putting a little bit of hope on this easterly wave coming in here from the Gulf of Mexico, but just not going to do anything. There's just no moisture to work with in the atmosphere, so that kind of comes in as a dud, if you will. Now, of course, there may be a little sea breeze shower here or there, but that high is just going to be staying in place. As a matter of fact, it looks like it's going to even strengthen ever so slightly, kind of scooch in here a little bit closer, and that's going to put temperatures back up into the, instead of just 100, add a couple of degrees to it. I don't think we'll have a repeat of back around the, 13th, 14th, 15th of the month, but it's still going to be very hot, and that'll be the situation going into then the first couple of days of August and even the latter portion of the month. With the high in that position, again, the only hope would be is if it could, around this clockwise flow, open up the Gulf of Mexico just enough, but that's wishful thinking as of right now. So the forecast today, and triple-digit temperatures, same thing. The next couple of days, we have some of that Saharan dust out there. That will be hanging around here in through Friday and the first part of the day on Saturday. Then we get into Sunday, the last few days of July, 102. That's how we're going to be starting off the month of August, 102. Normal high by that time is 97. So we are now getting into historically the hottest time of the year, which goes through first couple of weeks approximately of August.
Yeah, we are used to the heat in August, but I guess it just seems like it's been going on for a long time.
Yeah, and if you haven't gotten your latest electric bill yet.
Oh, yeah.
Did you get yours? Sticker shock. Speechless. Okay, gotcha. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah.
All right. 151 days till Christmas.
Yeah, that'll be
647, 78 degrees. Pour salt in them.
The weekend is almost here, and there are tons of fun things to do around town. We're going to have a preview tomorrow on GMSA. There's a little something for everyone.
Outside with Live Cam. Let's check in on that Thursday morning sunrise. We'll check in with Stephen again coming up and wrap up GMSA after this.
Good morning. Coming up here on GMA, Hunter Biden's plea deal on hold. What we learned overnight. Our team is going to break it all down. And we're hearing exclusively from one of Bronny James's closest friends, Shaq's son, what he told Bronny in the hospital and the latest on the young basketball star's condition. Plus, an exclusive with the surgeons who separated conjoined twins in a historic procedure over 4 months. You're going to see those stories and so much more right here on GMA.
In case you missed it last night, most of us have seen the dangers surrounding fentanyl and a synthetic opioid that's linked to the deaths of thousands of Texans. That's why KSAT aired a special and a town hall last night. It's called Fighting Fentanyl. It's everyone's problem. Now, 2,000 people in Texas died last year to fentanyl poisonings. The special went on and over the fentanyl problem and how it's affecting the state of Texas, law enforcement, and our communities. You can watch the special and the town hall discussion we had, and you can just scan the QR code. Viewers also heard from a woman who survived multiple fentanyl overdoses and a mother who lost her son to fentanyl poisoning. The goal is to help you start a conversation with your kids about the deadly drug. For more information, you can head over to our website at ksat.com.
Of course, it's the final week of the Right Start program. We can donate school supplies. The teachers at Somerset and Judson ISD will be getting supplies this year. United Way is looking for volunteers to help with donations next week on August 4th. You still have stuff to donate? You can visit any Cavender Auto dealership in San Antonio or visit United Way directly at 700 South Alamo. You can also buy a school supply bag by texting Right Start to 41444.
And seniors over the age of 60 or people with a disability can request a box fan at no cost by calling the United Way at 211. The box fan program relies on donations, so if you want to help, you can donate to the purchase of a 20-inch box fan. We do have those drop-off locations on our website at ksat.com. And like Mark just talked about, back to school is around the corner.
Yeah, in a matter of weeks, students who might be using older recycled supplies can get a fresh start this year, and thanks to a group of community leaders.
The Maliv International Group is partnering with the Big Brother, Big Sisters, and Urban Air to give away 750 free backpacks full of school supplies. The giveaway starts at 6 p.m. This is tonight. Remember, at the Urban Air on 1604 and Bandera Road, and it's on a first-come, first-served basis. So kids will also get a free ticket to jump and play at the Urban Air Park until 9 o'clock.
August is going to be here in a matter of days. That means it is time for more football.
That's right. The kids are already practicing, and this year's KSAT Pigskin Classic will be even bigger than last year.
So 2 days of high school football action instead of just one like we did last year for the inaugural Pigskin Classic. You can see the teams taking part in the KSAT Pigskin Classic behind us, but here are those matchups in detail. So it starts Friday night. Mark your calendars for August 25th. It's Antonian taking on Holy Cross at 7 o'clock. That's just a warm-up because then we've got a triple header of games on Saturday, August 26th.
So Saturday we'll start with Southside versus Somerset at 11:30 a.m., then Jefferson versus Uvalde at 3:30 p.m., and O'Connor versus Brandeis at 7:30 p.m. to wrap up the day.
And just like last year, all 4 games will be taking place at the Alamo Dome.
You can get your tickets right now on our website at ksat.com, or if you're already a KSAT insider, you can purchase your VIP experience tickets for the best seat in the house.
We got our staff polo shirts yesterday, and they look fantastic this year.
I like them. They look a little more sporty this year.
They are sporty. KSAT red with some white stripes on the sleeves and the body.
Yeah, look pretty good. Time now 6:54. Let's check back with our Stephen Cavazos.
Well, things were fine for a little while, and as we see from TransGuide, not spotting problems there at 37 at Jones Avenue. But within the last few moments, something just popped up from TxDOT. We have a vehicle fire that here in the northbound lanes of Loop 410 at Culebra. Now, I need to step out of here in just a few minutes to talk to our friends to see if we have a camera shot of the area. But notice the northbound lanes are starting to build with congestion out there. So again, I will find out what's going on, update you, and make sure to have your KSAT mobile app downloaded with those notifications turned on, because we let you know about issues like this before you have to hit the roads. Quick reminder, we still have this closure here along I-35 southbound at Brooklyn Avenue. I'm starting to see a little bit of a buildup as well in the northbound lanes. And one more drive over here to I-10 westbound. We still have that closure. Day 3 now, 4, I should say. 561 Medical Drive, Wurzbach Road, closed due to a water main break, Mike.
Some clouds hanging around here right now, and temperature 78 degrees. These are the actual air temperatures. Add in a little bit when you factor in the humidity, and we're going to make it up to 100 then later on today, and triple digits continue for the foreseeable future. I think about last year's Pigskin Classic and how it was just such a fun. Everybody was in a really good mood. Even the referees. You know, at one point we were standing over there because we were in the one corner. They're like going, "Hey, we watch you all the time. You know, we watch you guys all the time." So it was it was so much fun. So
it was a fun environment. Yeah.
Yeah, can't wait for that one. So and then and having Friday night as well. Yeah, kind of a warm up.
Yep. Remember, indoors in the AC, Wink.
Yes, that helps a lot because the parking lot's still hot. You guys have a great day. We'll see you at 9.